Hello guys, welcome to this ASP.NET tutorial. So today we'll be learning the concept of ADO.NET, which is entirely related to database. In this tutorial we'll be learning about how to add or create a database, how to add table in that database, how to insert, update, delete some values in that database, how to view whatever records are present in our database table, and how to search records from that particular table. So these things we'll be learning. Now let's begin with the program. So now here you can see I have already created an web application project. So now I'll simply move to toolbox and start designing. So I'll copy three labels and I'll copy some text box. So I'll copy three text box as well. Next thing I'll copy is I'll copy some buttons. So I require at least 5 buttons. Now these 5 buttons are required for what thing I'll tell you. So first let me change the names of this ID name. Now here these buttons are required for insertion, deletion, updation, and to view data present in our database. And this last button is required for search. So this is my complete design. One thing I have to add, that is one grid view, so that whatever values are there I can view it here in this grid view. So everything is done now. So next thing what we'll do is we will add one database. So to add a database, right click, go to add new item, go to data, SQL server database. Now this database 1.mdf, this name, that is database 1, it's up to you that if you want you can change or leave as it is. So simply click on add and yes. So I haven't changed the name of the database. Now this database will be available here in this server explorer. Now here you can see the database 1.mdf is already there. Now you can simply click on refresh. Now it's available. Now you can just click on this arrow and you can view the things inside our database. So I have to work on table, so I'll click on here. Now you can see we don't have any table, so right click and click on add new table. So once you click on add new table, you can add the required columns. You can change the data type, size. If you want you can allow nulls or you can not allow nulls. So I'm not allowing null values in my table. Now I'll set this ID as primary key. So right click and then you can set it, and I'll save this as student table. So I have saved it as STU. Now my table is created. Now you can check if your table is created or not. So you can see here STU is created, that is student table with fields ID and name. Now you can start coding. So I'll just code for insert, likewise we'll code for delete, update and view, and at last for search. So now the first thing you have to understand is this ADO.NET things, whatever we require are basically stored in a library function. So we have to import those library function, then only we will be able to use ADO.NET properties. So we have to import two things, that is using system dot data, using system dot data dot SQL client. These are the things which we have to import. Now next thing is, here I have already mentioned that this is my global section which is entirely visible everywhere in this particular coding section. So here in this global section, what I'll do is I'll create SQL connection. SQL connection is something which helps our application to get connected with the database. So I have created one SQL connection, that is this connection object. Now here you can see I have left some space. Here we will insert the path of that particular database to which we want to connect our application. To get the path, you have to right click, go to properties, and here you can see connection string at my right hand side. So this connection string you have to copy. Now the middle apostrophes you have to remove, inverted commas or apostrophes here you have to remove. So I'm removing this, and at the beginning you have to mention this @ symbol, so that our this particular path is connected. This @ symbol helps us to directly connect with the particular database path, so that is why I have mentioned @. Now next thing is I'll start the coding, but before that I'll create this block, that is try and catch block, so that whatever error if occurs, then it will be easy for me. So I'll be writing my code inside try and catch block. So I'll start the coding now. I have already created the connection. So what I'll do is at first I'll open the connection. Once my connection is open, then I'll create the command. So we are running this query for insertion. So I'll write the query to insert. So query to insert is insert into student. I have to mention the column names. In our table we have two column names, ID and names, and values @ID @name. Now this @ID and I'll be connecting with the help of parameter. So what this means I'll explain. So command dot parameter dot add with value, text box 1 dot text. Likewise I have two fields, so text box 2 dot text. Now here what I'll do is I'll mention ID and I'll mention name. Now here in values I've given @ID @name. That simply means this ID and this name which is connected with my text box. So if I go to this design, this text box whatever I'll be writing is connected with @ID. So whatever I'll enter here in this value @ID, it will get stored in my table student ID column. So likewise for name. That is why we have created the parameter. Now next thing is the third label which I have created. Here I'll print value inserted, and in catch value not inserted, so that I can know that there is some problem. Now next thing is I have to execute whatever query we have written. So execute non-query, and then I'll close the connection which we have opened. So our query is ready. Now this is for insertion. So now right now I haven't done the view thing, so we have to check it statically. So let's check it. So now I'll insert one value. So value inserted. That means our code is working. So let's check. Now as I said, we haven't done the query for view, so we have to check it statically. So I will click on show table data, and here you can see one Nitin, that means value has been inserted. Now I won't type in the entire code. I'll just copy and paste it. I'll simply change the query. Everything will remain same. So delete from student where id equal to @id. So in this one we don't require this second column, so I will remove it, and here I'll simply change it to value deleted. So it's done. Likewise for update also, I'll simply copy and paste the same code, only the thing that will change is the query. So update student table set name equal to @name where id equal to @id. So that's it. Here we require both the things, because with the help of id I'm changing the name. Now here I mention updated. Now this is also done. Now for view. So to view, again we'll create try catch block. Here in the catch block, the first thing we'll do is open the connection, then create the command. So this time the command will be select asterisk from student, because we want to view entire record. So this is the query. Now next thing we have to create is SQL data adapter object. Now this SQL data adapter is basically an inbuilt memory which will hold our value for some period of time. For that purpose we have this. Next is we have to add data set. That simply means table which consists of rows and columns. I'll connect this with data set. That means whatever I have with the help of this query will get stored in this data adapter, and this data adapter will simply print it in the table that is inside data set, and this data set value will get printed in my grid view. So the source from which I'm getting my data is grid view, and I'll print it using data bind. So our coding is done. Lastly, I'll simply print values and close the connection. So here I'll change it. View unsuccessful and view successful. And for search, that is last one, it will be quite similar. Only thing we have to change is we have to just change something in query. That this here where id equal to, I am simply connecting it with the help of text box. So that is the thing which what I'll mention. Text box 3 dot text just check this thing. Now sure mention this. Okay, I think it will work. So let's run this. Now I hope you all remember that we have one value inserted in the database. So when I click on view, now you can see that particular value is visible. So we'll insert second thing, let's say Akash. So this is the second value which we are inserting. Let's view it. Now let's update this Akash to Sandeep. So value updated, that means update successful, so 2 is Sandeep. Now let's delete this 2, so value deleted. So let's view, so value is deleted. Let us insert this thing again, value inserted. So now you can see everything is working. So let me insert few more values. Let's say Miraj, this is the third value. Okay, now I'll insert one more value, let's say Palin. So these are the 4 values which I have inserted. Now let's try and search for particular value. Okay, there's some mistake. Select history from student where id equal to is what I have to mention. Okay, I'll just stop this. Okay, now I guess it will work. Okay, let me just check if I have done some mistake or not. So select asterisk from student where id equal to, okay, yeah, this was the mistake. I missed one comma, inverted apostrophe comma. So now here, okay, this will be starting and this will be ending. Okay, now I guess it will work. This was the mistake. So let me search for particular value. So 1, okay, now view is successful. 2, so I'm able to search for particular value. So 4 is there, 3 is there. So whatever value I want to search for which is present inside my database, that will come. So this is all about ADO.NET database queries, insertion, updation, deletion, and to view along with searching and particular record from a database. So I hope you guys understood this concept. If you have any questions regarding this concept, you can mention it in the comment section below, or you can simply text me. Thank you for watching.